Hello, I am Cnspartan, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to use my randomizer to come up with a scenario, and I'll build my deck, and then I'll start to play. The randomizer will pick for me my villain, the modular sets that are secondary, my hero, and what aspect I'm going to be playing. There are a couple of things that would make me not accept that scenario. Mainly, those are if it's an X-Men. So those are currently within the randomizer, but I don't have any of those items. Also, those are the only reasons why I would not be able to use that scenario, but I may have to make some tweaks. For example, Adam Warlock, he uses all four scenarios. And for Gamora and for Spider-Woman, they both use two, or well, in Gamora's case, she could use multiples. Those items haven't been factored. But let's go and get started. But I would like to mention that if this is something you'd like to see more of, please hit the like button. And if it's a scenario that you try, let me know how you do in the comments. Tell me what you did or you didn't do, and what you would have added to my deck to make it work. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So this is my randomizer. I'm going to hit the run button. So it's asking me how many players I have. I'm going to hit 1. It's going to ask me for my name, Cnspartan. I'm going to hit Q, which is going to give me all. And it tells me I will be playing Vision and Justice against Mutagen Formula, and my modular set will be the Enchantress. So I'm going to hit this button right here, which is going to let me stop, and then I will hit this button, the download button, and I'm going to type in today's date, 9/26, download, and now when I'm done with the game today, I will be able to upload that. So if you want to see exactly everything that was outputted, the output of this, you'll be able to read that from the video description. So with all of that said, we'll go ahead and get started. So it said Vision, Justice. So let's get this out of the way. All right, so I will go ahead and grab all of my cards here. I'm not sure if you can see all this, but all right, so these are my allies. These are my justice events, my resources, my supports, and then my upgrades. So with all that stuff said, I really do like Overwatch. I think I'll put one of the skilled investigators in. I think I should go ahead and put Heroic Intuition. Justice Serve sounds like it would do me justice. I'm also going to throw a Sonic Rifle. Maybe a throw in too. Yeah, alright. I think that's good for the upgrades. So we have 2 copies of Sonic Rifle. I've got Sense of Justice, Justice Served, Heroic Intuition, Skilled Investigator, and Overwatch. Next, I think I'm going to need some allies. So we'll go Wiccan. We'll also throw in Quake, Speed, throw in Jessica Jones, Daredevil. I think that should be good for that. All right. Obviously, I should throw in the 2 resources. I don't really see myself needing any of these. Yeah, so I'll leave those out. And then before I start going through the events for Justice, I think I'm going to grab some cards out of the basic. I won't grab. I'll say them out loud as I grab them. Well, never mind. I'll grab the basic upgrades and so I'm going to get endurance. Let's look at vision here. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so he's got at least 10 superpowers. So I am going to add depth focus. I'm thinking I might be done with these cards. I am going to not add symbiotic suits. Alright. I have more supports, but I figure more upgrades, but I'm sure I don't need any of the, or I'm pretty sure it's all the same. I'm gonna add Avengers Mansion, Helicarrier, and Quinn Carrier. Do I have Avengers? We'll add Tower too. Son of a gun. Okay, so I'm gonna add Strength, Genius, and Energy, just because that makes sense. I only have the 1/4 card, so I'm not gonna add the Power of Us. So let's go ahead and see where I am at now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I need at least 2 more. I can add a total of 12 more. So for the 2 more, we can probably start adding some of these. I guess I could add the one ways or another's, but let's look through here, see if there's anything else that I can do. Ooh, Brain over Brawn. Turn the Tide will probably good. Do 4 damage to an enemy if the enemy's defeated. I think Stealth Strike sounds like a good option. What's going on with this card? So that should put me... That puts me at 41 now. It's not really worth it. I'll add the 2 of the yaw and rolls. I mean, even the odds doesn't really make sense for me. I'll add another one of those. Alright. I'm going to probably have to depend on my kit for most of my damage. So I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of probably a lot more thwarting than anything else. Or with this deck, I'll probably end up doing a lot of thwarting. This scenario does throw a lot of minions at me, which will be interesting since with Vision, he has the ability to avoid 2 damage for each attack. I am just going to try to get this cleaned up a little bit. I think I have 2 more sets of cards. All right. And now I need to grab the Enchantress. And Mutagen formula. And of course, we're going to go with the standard deck. So as of right now, my randomizer is currently 3-0 or 3-1. It has beat me 3 times and it has lost once. That one loss was with Brant from Step Into the Portal. We played last Friday. It was a stream with, he was Captain America and I was Miss Marvel, and we went up against Crossbones and obviously 3 other scenarios. It's pretty, that's a lot of, it was a lot. Totally forgot to add my things. Alright, so I'm going to add corruptive programming into the deck as well. We're going to go. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of downtime, and I imagine you can just speed up through. But my goal with these is to try to do them in one takes as best as possible, mainly because it's the most authentic way that I can show you that this is what I went through. The only other way I could do this is if I just went ahead and started to just streamed, but I don't think I have the following for that yet. I mean, I guess I could, but alright. And now we will do the same thing for Vision. So I'm really excited for, now that I've been seeing a lot more of the Mutant Genesis things, or gameplay, I'm a little bit more excited for Shadowcat than I realized. She was always kind of a strange hero for me in the game, as the game was concerned, because when they announced her, I had just started playing Vision. Vision is probably one of my top 4 or 5 characters. So I'm really interested actually to record him and to hear what people might have to say, see if there's anything I'm doing wrong. So my goal today is also to try to go a little slower. So if someone that doesn't play the game often is watching, hopefully I don't lead them astray too much. And if there's something that you have a question on, if you're watching for the first time, please leave a comment. And ask it. There's a lot of people that can help out. I noticed that with my last video with Black Panther. There were a few mistakes that I had made, especially with the setup ability, and people kept me honest. And I'm better for it now. So, all right, let's try to get this stuff situated. This is going to go here. This card's going to go here. Now I start off as Vision. I don't know if you can tell here. Actually, just a second. Okay. So I start off as Vision. Vision has a recovery of 3, a hand size of 5, and he has 11 hit points. So I should probably change this to 11 now before I forget. So he gets +2 recovery when he is in dense form, and he gets +1 hand size in intangible. And when I set my mask form with the intangible face up. So what that means is that I will be starting with a hand size of 6. When I flip over, I have 2 thwart, 1 attack, or 0 attack, and 0 defense. And I'm able to switch my mass form once per round. So what that means is my intangible gives me, I cannot attack and I cannot defend if I'm intangible, but for every time I am attacked, I get to reduce that amount of attack done to me by 2. So for example, if someone tries to attack me and they have 3, they're going to do 3 damage, that means I'm only going to take 1 point of damage. But if they hit for less than that, then I don't take any damage. It's actually a problem I've had in earlier games. I would have 5 or 6 different people in front of me, and I don't really have a way of getting rid of all of them, because if I go into my dense mode, well, now they can hit me. So I guess I could flip to dense, then flip over to my alter ego, then I could probably heal, flip over, deal some damage, and then flip it to my intangible, and that way I can kind of avoid those. But I was playing with 2 other people, so I felt like they should have taken care of the minions, since all it did was thwarting. I dealt with a thwart, but, it's for a different game. Alright, so now I am going to try to put all this stuff so it's seeable. So this says that I put a Goblin Thrall minion into play, engaged with each player, and then I have to shuffle the encounter deck. So, as I always do, I look at the bottom, and I just start going. There's my Thrall. Alright, and it says, when this is completed, in player order, each player not engaged with a minion, Goblin minion, must discard 3 cards from the encounter deck and put the first Goblin minion they discarded this way engaged with him. I start off with 2 threat on the main scheme, and it goes to the second stage at 7. So, and at that point, I have 11 that I would get to go to, but I have to put 4 on here starting off, and then it says X. And in this case, X is how many goblins are on the board. So, I really don't want to get to that point, especially if I've got 12 different goblins right in front of me. So, yeah, but it should be a fun time. I am missing my large one. Alright, so he has 16 health, and it says, after a green goblin attacks and damages me, I must place 1 threat on the main scheme. So 16. don't think anybody can see any of this. I'm trying to do something a little different, and I don't know if it's going to work. All right. Okay, so this thrall is in front of me. And now I am going to draw my hand. Again, I get 6 cards. All right, so I'm an alter ego. Six. All right, so so I have Justice Serve, Sonic Rifle, Yaw and Roll, Vision's Cape, Brains Over Brawn, and Genius. I really like Vision's Cape. I think I'm definitely going to keep Vision's Cape in and the Genius so I can pay for it. Yaw and Roll I'm going to get rid of because I'd have nothing to do with that. I think I'm not going to use... I'm going to get rid of these 3 cards. I just don't see myself being able to use Brain Over Brawn. It means that I have to, 1, be in dense, but 2, I would only hit it for 2. So doing 2 damage for 2 cost is not great. So now I get to draw for another 4 cards. That was what I'm thinking. I'm sure that there are other options available to me. Well, shucks. This is actually pretty good, decent. So I got Quake, who was a minion, or I'm sorry, an ally. I have Energy, which will give me 2 resources. I have Quinn Carrier, which will give me a energy every round, and then I have the Power of Justice, which if I use the Power of Justice, I could pay for Quake. But Quinn Carrier sounds really good. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pay for Genius to put out Vision's Cape. Oh, I forgot to put the 2 on this. Alright, so I have 2 threat there. I'm going to flip over. I'm still an intangible. And I'm going to use Quake and Energy to pay for the Quinn Carrier. So I think that's just going to be the smarter play. I love getting resources out, especially in the beginning of the game. It's just something I don't have to worry about later on. It's better for me, I think, to build up than it is to not, essentially. So I've done that, and now I will... So this is the Thrall, which I guess I need to turn this off. 1 second. So now I have more playable room. So this is the Thrall, and what it says is that he has a scheme of 1, attack of 1, and guard. That means that while he's engaged with me, I cannot attack Green Goblin. So, because he only attacks for 1 and I'm intangible, I basically can just ignore this person. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay an intangible. He'll hit me for 2 with whatever boost. So I'm praying for a 0, but you know, it's probably not happening. And then, but I will thwart with Vision, taking off the 2 here. All right, so next it is, I'm sorry. We are now at the point where I've finished my turn, so I can discard any cards that I want to get rid of. This is really the only card that I have left that I can get rid of if I want, but I'm going to hold on to it because it is a Power of Justice, and if I have any Justice cards, it will basically allow me to pay for it with just one card. So I'm going to do that. So I need to draw and ready all of my characters. So again, my hand size while I'm in hero form is 5. So I'm going to draw 4 more cards. Oh. Okay. Interesting. All right. So that's my hand. All right. So now it is the villain's turn. The villain, I have to place threat here. I place 1 per person. So it's just me. Then the villain and every minion engaged will attack per player order. So the Green Goblin is going to attack me. Green Goblin gets a boost. The boost is 0. Perfect. So he attacks me, but because I'm intangible, I get to reduce each attack by 2. So that means I don't take any damage. Now Goblin Thrall will attack me. Again, I'm still intangible. That means I don't take any damage. And also, this says after Green Goblin attacks and damages you, you place 1 threat on the main scheme. Again, he didn't damage me. No threat goes on the main scheme. And then now I'm going to get my encounter card. My encounter card is Hysteria. Attached to the Green Goblin. When Green Goblin attacks our schemes, I give him 1 additional boost card for that activation. I can spend 2 mental resources to discard this card. Well, that kind of changes things for me. So I was going to put this card into play if I could. But I guess I need to pay. I'm going to use these 2 cards to pay to get rid of this. So that I control the board state. I don't have any side schemes right now, so I'm going to get rid of Skilled Investigator. And that might end up being a dead card, but it's whatever. Then I will scheme for another 2 and call that a day. I'm hoping that I can get a pretty decent board state soon, but... Alright, so that was the end of my turn there. Getting rid of Hysteria and putting out the Death Focus. That's really all I got to do. I also got to take off 1 threat. So, alright, so there's Power of Justice again. I have a Skilled Strike, I have Solar Beam, and I have Endurance. Ooh. And what does it say? I do get to draw a card when I go to dense form. So I think maybe going into dense form. I really want this out there. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead. Again, I'm still an intangible, so Green Goblin's going to... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. I need to add 1 here. And I am going to... He's going to attack me. So 4-2. And he does 1 damage. So we place 1 there because he did do 1 point of damage to me. Again, still an intangible, so he doesn't damage me. And then I see you. Green Goblin attacks you. If you are an alter ego form, do not give the villain a boost card for this activation. So, this means he attacks me again for 2 So this time he attacks me for 4 because this had 2 boost icons. So he's going to do 2 more damage. So I'm now at 8 health, and I have to put another token there. All right. So now it's my turn. I am going to... Oh, whoop. I flipped the wrong thing. All right, so I'm going to flip to dense form, and I get to draw 1 card. It's unfortunate. I'm going to use Power of Justice and the Quinn Carrier to pay for Stealth Strike. This is going to get rid of the Goblin Thrall. I am then going to use Death Focus, just passing through. Oh, I'm sorry. Skilled Strike. I messed this one up. You deal 4 damage to an enemy. So he has 3 health. I got to do 4. If that enemy is defeated by this attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So I am going to now remove 2 threat from the scheme. That means I am still at only 1 left. I think I've hit this a couple of times. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to use Death Focus, just passing through, to use Solar Beam. Solar Beam does 3 damage to an enemy. So that will put him at 9 health. Yeah, so he was at 16, and I do 7 damage, 9 health. And then I am going to also... I'm going to attack for 2. So now he's at 7 health. I'm now exhausted. These are all exhausted, and I still have the endurance card to play. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I still only have a hand size of 5. I have Overwatch, Daredevil, Stealth Strike again, and the Sonic Rifle. I probably want to get Daredevil out if possible. Okay. So now it is Green Goblin's turn. He's going to place another threat on the main scheme. He is going to attack me, again doing 2 damage. I am going to not defend. I imagine that the worst boost icon that I'll get here is a 3, so I'm pretty confident I can take it. So this is actually just had a boost icon, which means that I have to put Goblin Soldier in play engage with me. So now he would get to attack. So I get hit for 2 from Green Goblin and then 1 from Goblin Soldier. Alright, so I'm at 5 health now. Now I'm going to take my boost icon, or my encounter card. I apologize for that. And it says the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks. Well, maybe I was wrong. Oh, I also placed 1 here because he did attack me. So he's going to attack me again. And it's another Goblin Soldier. So I'm going to take, I guess that's, is that 4? We'll call it 4 damage. I'm not 100% sure. I definitely would recommend you look at, do they get to attack if they come in after he attacks me. Okay, so things are not looking great for me now. I came into that round with 8 health, and I now have 1. So alright, so the first thing that I can do is I can exhaust the Quinn Carrier, and I can throw in Endurance, which will automatically add 3 points to my health. So I'm now at 4 points of health. So I think I'm going to use Stealth Strike, Daredevil, and Overwatch to pay for my Sonic Rifle. And I am going to use, I get 2 counters. I'm going to use Sonic Rifle to confuse Green Goblin. With Green Goblin confused, he will not be able to scheme against me. And I'm going to flip over. And since I'm in dense form, I will go ahead and heal for 5. So now I'm at 9 again. And then I'm going to flip dense over to intangible. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I'm intangible, again, I get a +6 hand size. But because when I went to heal, I had +2 recovery. So that's how I did the 5. Alright, so super dense strike. Oh no. Speed, Avengers Tower, Wiccan, mass increase, and sense of justice. Alright, this mass increase was probably a very good hand for me, or card for me to get. Yeah. Okay. So, Green Goblin is going to... Oh, I get to ready everything. I apologize. So, Green Goblin is going to scheme... Oh, I forgot to add this too. I think I might have forgotten this one. And if I did not, well, I'm just punishing myself for not remembering that I did remember to do it. So, Green Goblin is going to scheme against me, but he's confused, so he doesn't. And then these two are going to scheme on me. So that pops this. And now I have 4 threat there. All right. This is going over well. All right. Now I am going to gain my counter card, and it is Monster. When revealed, you are stunned. If you are already stunned, take 2 damage. After this activation ends, shuffle the card into the encounter deck. Alright. Actually, that's something different. That last part. So, basically what's happened now is I'm stunned, which is not ideal. Darn it. Okay. So I am going to flip back to vision, and then I'm going to flip from intangible to dense. I get to gain another card. Woo! My solar gem. Wow, that changes everything. So if I put my solar gem out, that gives me another resource each round. So with this, and this, if I get these 3 cards out, that essentially gives me a resource every round. This card will give me a resource for every event, which might not have been the smartest one to add to my deck since I didn't add that many events. This one will reduce each one of my allies by 1. So if I can put this one in, he's going to only cost me 1. But this gives me the aerial feat, which will allow me to use some of my event cards. So, I've got a lot to think about here. I want to hold on to this card, the mass increase, because what I can do is I can prevent all of the damage that's being done to me by Green Goblin for this one. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to attack. That will get rid of my stunned. We're going to use the Death Focus, and I'm going to pay speed to play the Super Dense Strike. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of him, The Goblin Soldier, it says deal 1 damage to the engaged player when he's defeated. So I now take 1 damage from that. This card is now gone. Shoot. I am going to use Sense of Justice and the Quinn Carrier to pay for my Solar Gem. So I now have 3 items, and I will use the Solar Gem and Wiccan to pay for the Avengers Tower. So that basically gives me 4 resources. Granted, 2 of them are for special events, or special, not events, but special. 2 of them I can use in special circumstances. The other 2 are I get to use them whenever. So with that, I am going to grab another 4 cards and ready everything. Okay, so let's look at these cards. I have Avengers Mansions, I have Solar Beam, Just Passing Through, and Phase Disruption. Phase Disruption is really good if I have another one of those attachments that are pretty bad. Ooh, things aren't going like I would like them to. I probably need to be a lot more aggressive. Alright, so Green Goblin is going to attack me. I am going to defend. I'm going to use Death Focus to do so. And that is going to be, he would have hit me for 3. He is now stunned. The card goes away. Alright, and now they will both hit me. One will hit me for 1 and the other one will hit me for 3. So I am now at 4 health again. Alright, now I get my encounter card, which says it's a Goblin Thrall. Son of a biscuit eater. Okay, so what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I am going to, I can't use that, but I can use these 2 and these 2. No, I think I'm going to use this. No, I can't do that. Okay, hold up. I'm going to use my Avengers Mansion, Just Passing Through. Oh, no. So I'm going to use Avengers Mansion, Phase Disruption, and Solar Beam, or Solar Gem to play Solar Beam. And I'm going to use that to attack this monster. So that's taken care of. And then I'm going to use the Quinn Carry to pay Just Passing Through, but I have to swap over to Intangible before I do that. And that allows me to remove 3 threat, but I forgot to add 1 the last time. So I'm now at 2. I should have done this earlier. I was going to attack and hit him for 2, so he is now at 1 health left. Okay. Again, I need to start being a little more aggressive here. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jessica Jones, Vivian, Stealth Strike, Solar Beam, Super Dense Strike. Ooh. Super interesting. Alright, so I add 1 more here. He's going to attack me. He's stunned. He can't do it. They're both going to attack me, but I'm intangible, so that means it doesn't get through. I take the encounter card. Goblin Enforcements place one additional threat here for each Goblin minion in play. So it starts off with 2, but I have to add 2 more. So I'm at 4. Alright. Doesn't seem worth it. Okay, so I'm going to use Def Focus and Jessica Jones to pay for Super Dense Strike, but I gotta be in dense form, which means I get to draw a card. Helicarrier. So I'm gonna do that to Goblin Soldier. He hits me for 1 damage. I will attack Goblin Thrall for 1 damage. And then I am going to use Quinn Carrier and Solar Gem and let's say Stealth Strike for Solar Beam. So I will deal 7 damage to Green Goblin. He is now dead, which probably is going to end up killing me, but alright. When revealed, deal 2 encounter cards to each player. 1, 2. I am now going to use my Sonic Rifle. So that goes away. This goes away too. And now he is confused. None of that stuff will work for me. I flip over. Guess I'll do that now. There's nothing else to do. Alright. And I get 3 cards. Alright. Interesting. Alright, so we're now at 2. He gets 18 health. So I need some big events. Alright. So again, he's going... oh, wait a minute. I messed that one up, didn't I? I'm supposed to add 4. Alright, we'll add 4. And then we will add 1 there. Because I didn't add the 1. I didn't add the 3. Again, I'm not sure if I had defeated the 1 yet, but look at it as a punishment, I guess. So he is going to scheme against me. He's confused. That goes away. He deals me a counter card. It's overrun. He deals me another encounter card because he has Goblin Reinforcements out. It's the Enchantress. So I have to search the encounter deck, discard pile, and set aside for a copy of Seduced and attach it to my identity. Oh, man. I hope this is not the thing that kills me. Alright, this says that I cannot make basic attacks or play attack events. And I have to pay 1 mine resource and 1 energy resource to discard this card. Son of a biscuit eater. Alright, and then I got Caught Off Guard and Death from Above. So I have to discard an upgrade or support I control. Tell you what, let's get rid of Avengers Tower since that hasn't done anything for me. And then Death from Above. Green Goblin schemes where he has plus X scheme, where X is equal to the villain's stage number. So he's going to scheme for 2 plus 2. So, am I in trouble? That's 5, 8, 4. Yep, I just lost. And that's because I had just pulled out Death from Above. So that's unfortunate. I really can't think of anything I could have done differently other than just play more aggressively. Let's just bring it over to me real quick. Yeah, I can't think of anything that I could have really have done to have been more aggressive. At least with the deck that I have. It could have possibly been had I added more aggressive like attack events, maybe I would have done much better. But I mean, with the deck that I had built, I don't really think I could have done much more. So maybe it was just a flaw in my deck building, which is kind of what this is about, right? I mean, it gives me everything. The only input I'm allowed to put into it is what cards are in my deck. So you get a deck of 40 to 50 cards. The randomizer automatically picks out 15 because they're picking out my hero. So I probably could have done a better job of thinking who I was playing against, seeing that I was playing against the Green Goblin, though I've never really done much with the Enchantress, so I didn't really know what to expect there. But I really thought that the Super Dense... I need to remember what that card is. Super Dense Strike, where it allows me to do 5 damage. The piercing really didn't make much of a difference, which means that he'll probably be pretty good in the new Mutant Genesis. That card would have been really good for me, and also Solar Beam. Solar Beam is pretty much my go-to. That, and then I have the Density Controls card here. Generally what this does is you put it down as an upgrade, and when you change your form, so go from Super Dense to Intangible, you are able to take a card from your discard pile and put it back into your hand. So it's really great with the Solar Strike. I think that's what it's called. I want to make sure I get the name right. Solar Beam. So it's really good with the Solar Beam, because the Solar Beam is going to give you either 7 damage, or it's going to remove 5 threat. And I think that's probably the thing that got me, was not paying attention to the threat. I get really into the game sometimes and I might miss some stuff. Maybe I didn't keep track of it very well, and that's probably the other thing, is I kept punishing myself. But no. I will say I made the video last week on Black Panther, and I made the video that night, and the next day I played 3 different games with Black Panther, and from all of the different feedback I had gotten off of that video, I played him a little differently, and I really saw what some of the other people were telling me. One comment that was made was I shouldn't have discarded the Wakanda Forevers. I think I had 2 in my first hand, and I mulliganed them since I was like, I don't see how I'm going to use this. I can see how you would want to keep Wakanda Forever, especially with the setup ability where you're able to go through your deck and pull out a card. I really like, obviously, right, his Panther Claws. Having the 2 Wakanda Forevers with the Panther Claws means that I got to do essentially 10 damage on my first round, because I got to do 4 for each of the Wakanda Forevers, and then I also get to do an additional 2 as my character. It's I could definitely see he's just. I think the problem with some of the heroes, it's not really a problem. It's just for some of the heroes, you kind of have to see how they go. You can't just you can't look at them and be like, oh yeah, this is going to be really good. Uh, and I believe Black Panther is definitely one of those characters. Vision's that way for me as well. Though I normally play Vision when I know that whoever I'm playing with is going to play a really heavy aggression deck, and we're going to have a lot of threat we're going to have to deal with. That's really when I normally lean more towards the Vision character. But again, let me know what you think. If you try this challenge, maybe, let me know what you changed out or what you would have done differently. And let me know if you succeed or if you also failed. I'd love to know how many people actually tried this and what the success rate for it would be. I'd be really interested in those numbers. So, but thank you, and hopefully the next time I'll catch you later.